he's snoring at the time of sleep, I need to get divorced.
They think that they lose freedom.
I think it's challenging to find the right person.
I think a marriage is supposed to be for a lifetime. This generation wants something extra.
Nowadays, it's hard to find true love.
Marriages are seen as a life milestone in the life of every Indian. But according to a recent report by the National Statistics Office's Youth in India, 23% of young Indians aren't interested in marriage anymore. This made us wonder, are marriages just becoming outdated?
People who lives in cities are losing interest in marriage. Yeah, people who migrated from villages to cities, so they got so much exposure and they know more about what is love, what is marriage and what is that, and they are not believing in marriage.
Think anyone get married nowadays? Fuck around, have fun. Nowadays we can see a relationship hardly works over 3 months or 4 months. And if you got married to a girl or a boy or anything, then you get divorced. So I don't think that's gonna work. This generation wants something extra. Yeah, that's the main reason.
You might see tier 2, tier 3 cities, still marriages are ongoing and stuff. But tier 1 cities, people are reluctant to get married because of such a huge responsibility and the commitment they want to put. But still, marriage is not outdated unless and until you don't want to get married.
People think marriages are going to be easy work. I don't think it'll be easy work, right? I think it requires a lot of responsibility on both partners' front, right? It's work at the end of the day. You have to put in that work. That requires a little bit of selflessness, right? It requires more unconditional sort of love, which I think dogs are great at, but humans are not. So that requires you to kind of adjust to the other person's needs and wants while they do the same for you, right?
No, I don't think so. Just people are not able to find the right match. That's why I feel there are less marriages right now. Less successful marriages right now. But everybody wants to get married.
In India, hitting your mid-20s means one thing, shaadi ka pressure. Families and relatives immediately bombard young people with marriage discussions. Studies also show that 72% of Indian men feel pressured to marry by age 30, driven largely by families. So we ask people if they feel pressure to marry and how they deal with it.
Yeah, I think it happens. I have a lot of friends who are like above 30 years old right now, and all their parents and their family members, they keep asking them like, why don't you get married? Like, we'll, help you find the right person. And they're struggling with using all of those dating apps to find the right person. And I can see that they're under pressure. And partly because of like families asking this question, partly because them seeing their friends get married and raise families, and they want to do that, right? But it's not easy, as I said. So yeah, I think there's definitely a pressure. And sometimes people end up rushing into marriage, right? Like with the wrong person.
I've seen my school friends getting married and getting divorced. And they got married because of the societal pressure only. They did not have a say in it. And even if they had a say, they wanted to get married. And it did not work out because, again, arranged marriage and the society will choose, family will choose the person for you. And it is possible in love marriages also. Because out of pressure, if you'll do anything, I don't think it's going to last.
I think it's challenging to find the right person. In the age of, swiping right on a mobile phone, it's become really complicated to find the person who is right for you. Yes, people are marrying late, partly because of that too, in my opinion.
For many millennials and Gen Z, marriage feels less like a dream and more like a responsibility. Terms like sacrifice and compromise are often associated with it. Why do you think people feel scared to get married nowadays?
They date for a long time, but they don't get committed to each other in terms of marriage. It's because they think that it's a very big task, to get completely into the family mode. They think that they lose freedom if they get committed into a marriage, because marriage is such a thing where you get committed in front of people.
I think responsibilities do increase. I think because you have to think about two people, so you become a unit. So some days you want to just go hang out with your friends, like your male friends, and watch a sports game. Maybe you have to sideline that and spend time with your partner, and that's okay. I think it's a choice you make at the end of the day, right? So I do think responsibilities do increase as you get into that family sort of life. Like if you get challenges you to become a better version of yourself, in my opinion. A lot of times we are very fluid and flexible as guys, like we could do whatever we want to, very spontaneous. Sometimes I think marriages would challenge you to become more intentional in what you want to do together, I think.
Before marriage, you are only responsible for yourself. You are looking for the things which you need to do for yourself. After marriage, you have a family you need to take for that person also.
When I'm financially stable, then I'll proceed for that step. Until and unless, I'll just make sure that she's good for it. That's it.
India is known to have the lowest divorce rates globally, but over the past 2 decades, divorce rates have risen by 50 to 60%. This begs the question, are traditional marriages built for modern challenges?
See, everyone wants freedom, and I think people think marriage ties you down. It brings you a lot of responsibilities than what you really signed up for, right? Like, or maybe you don't anticipate that you would be good, you know, taking up certain responsibilities in a marriage, like whether it's financial or like, you know, not just thinking about yourself. You have to be a little selfless, you know, when you're married to someone. So not everyone's, I think, ready to sign up for that.
People are free now and they want to do what they feel like doing. Before, it was more like a social pressure, and divorce was a taboo. It's not a taboo anymore. So when people don't feel comfortable, they just go for it, and there is no social pressure.
If that love is forced into you, okay, I don't have any other option, I have to live with that guy, I have to live with her, then something little, like minor things goes wrong, you can't able to think other than getting divorced also. There are so many cases I saw, like he's snoring at the time of sleep, I need to get divorced. He's not sexually active, I need to see other men. If you love a person like completely, if he does little thing wrong, so people who love each other will try to fix it.
Let's say before, even if you wanted to take a divorce, it was very, like, it would be very hard, right? Because people would just, they would think that once you're married, it's done, dude, that's it. Now there is no looking back. The other person can get away with anything, you can't. Because people are always like, what will people think, what will the society think, and all that. Now people are more outspoken and more bold, I feel, right? If they don't want to be in a marriage, they don't feel it's right, I think they have the voice to get out of it. I think that's good.
Despite the rise in divorce rates and the mounting pressures that marriages bring in, they still hold a special place in Indian society. But for the younger generation, the question is, at what cost? Do you think marriages are a necessity?
I think many of the people, they think it's a huge responsibility and stuff. So, but it's on their choice whether they take it or not. If they want to continue their bloodline, they can continue. But marriage is something that I think you can understand each other for a longer period of time. And I think marriage is not something, a big thing to get afraid of or something. I mean, it's, if you want to get committed, either ways you want to have someone at the end of the day to talk to or something. Just get married rather than just going dating or something.
Life is easier when you have someone. When you have someone to share things with and live moments with. So you can have pets and adopted kids, but still having someone with the same mentality and facing same problems, going through same things. So having a companion for all of that is the thing I would want.
As a generation, I think we want to pursue our dreams first and then try to figure out to settle down, versus I think 30-40 years it was, in our parents' generation, was like settle down and then, you know, you figure out your dreams. So yeah, the cultural context of marriage is shifting a little bit.
25% of young couples now prefer live-in relationships over marriage. What do you think about these alternatives to marriage?
I don't think there's a better alternative right now, because marriage is like a war between a boy and a girl.
People found most of the alternate to marriage, but legally there is no alternatives.
See, living together is something, so see, I'll just tell you in the corporate term. It's like you just go to a company, you just work for 6 months, then you leave the company, move to another city. So it's the same thing.
Live-in is also a good option, but I feel the sense of security will not be there. Marriage, just tying the knot and doing that event and function will just give you that security that this person is not going anywhere and this person is mine. So that sense of security is more important, and that comes with the marriage.
A really close friend of mine, he lives in New York, and so he's really happy living with himself, with his dog. When he used to see someone, he was very happy living with her, but I don't think he believes in the institution of marriage as far as I remember. And I think he's 37, 38 right now, really content and happy with his life, because I think he knows what he wants. And as I said, at the end of the day, marriage or no marriage, I think it matters to what you really believe in and what you want to do. I mean, society would always tell you get married and, you know, be happy. But if that's not what makes you happy, I don't think you're going to keep anyone happy in a marriage either, right? So do something which you enjoy so much.